And welcome back to Hot and Cold Podcast. Today, this is our first episode after the national championship. This is the last episode that you're going to hear the beautiful March Madness intro. But before we get started, Connor, how are we doing today?
Okay. You and I have kind of had a back and forth here the past day and a half, 2 days, giving each other some
privately.
Yeah, it's been pretty heated for the people. I mean, Bryson has gotten to see most of it. It's been fun. The portal is
making enemies.
Insane. It is we're like a week in and it's going to be a disaster.
We're not technically to the offseason yet, us personally. I mean, college basketball is in full swing offseason, but we're not personally in yet because we have to record this episode for our good friend who's joining us on the podcast today, and Jared Nutt. Jared, how are we doing today?
We are doing amazing. Amazing.
Yeah, well, we had to have you on because if you've been living under a rock, Kansas defeated UNC in the national championship to raise their championship total to 4. They're now 4-7 in national championship games. But Jared, for all the listeners that don't know you, introduce yourself a little bit. Tell them about who you are and everything. We've had you on before, but we have a new influx of listeners. Sorry for that dig. I just had to say they were 4-7 in national championships.
That's fine. If you couldn't tell who I am a fan of because of that 4-7 joke right there. Yeah. I won't get much into it, but all you need to know is Kansas are national champs, and I want no slander.
I don't think we have room
for about 10 minutes.
I don't think we have the room to not, let you go on your parade a little bit. And look,
it's true.
And as weird of a tournament as it's been, I think me and Connor kind of talked about it. The Final Four kind of did even out. I think the last 4 teams, maybe besides a few in the region that Villanova came out of, I think it probably was the best 4 teams playing at the end. And we had that conversation in the last episode. That feels like forever ago now. But Connor, but before we let Jared kind of go crazy about it, you have something you want to say from the preseason.
I picked them to win, and it's actually funny.
Allegedly.
Because I remember because our friend of the show, Aaron Torres, picked Kansas as well. He's 2 for 2 in college football, college basketball. It's actually pretty impressive. And part of it was a joke because you hate Kansas, and I will admit this. I still to this day have Kansas notifications on my ESPN. I used to be kind of, because I have family out there. I'm dead serious. Jared and I used to talk about Kansas all the time in elementary school.
You've had notifications on since elementary school?
Resident bandwagon Kansas fan.
That's a crazy thing. I didn't know.
I'm dead serious. So when they lost as the 1 seed, when they had Sharon Collins and they lost to Northern, I was devastated. I was hardly an IU fan.
What in the hell has this podcast became?
I am being dead serious about this. And I hadn't gotten into IU yet. My dad hadn't really pushed it or anything like that. He went to IU as an IU fan, but they're under sanctions. They're an allegation. So I was a Kansas fan. I got a Kansas shirt from relatives when I went out there when I was in 2nd or 3rd grade. And I was a Kansas fan, and it said national champs on it from years ago. And I was like, they're good. Why not be a fan of them? I can use the family excuse to jump on the bandwagon.
No, that's weird because that's kind of that's almost exactly what happened to me for Kentucky, except for the fact that my dad never, he didn't push early enough. Because my dad, if not a lot of listeners know my dad, big Indiana fan, not as big anymore, but he was big in the Bob Knight era and everything. But he did try to push for me to become an Indiana fan. He was way too late. I've already had my connections. I already started loving the sport and loving Kentucky. So yeah, that is kind of similar to what happened to me a little bit. But that's interesting. You still have the notifications?
Yeah, I'm like still they're one of my favorite teams selected. I just
That's
haven't ever
quick
removed
two
that.
Taps to remove it.
They are the team that I will root for. Jokingly or not, when Indiana is out, like I will root. Big Mario Chalmers guy, I love that guy. So for many reasons. So it's like, yeah, whatever. But anyway,
it always goes back to the Heat. It always goes back to the Heat.
I picked them. I said in a podcast before the Final Four that David McCormick was going to be the X factor against Phil. I'm feeling it right now. I told Brant during the game when they were down 16, I said, Brant, live bet them. That
was an easy live bet. Like, we'll get into the actual team and everything, but that was an easy live bet.
He didn't do it. Big mistake. Every time I give betting advice and don't make the bet myself, it usually happens. So
you went out on a limb for that one.
Usually, no, I'm dead serious.
You could have said it always happens.
Well,
nobody
who always gets. Come on, I want it to be believable.
All right, Jared. Let's get into this team. This is going to be. I don't know about you, but like for most of the season, I think since the Dayton game early, it hurt. The Kentucky game. I'm not trying to poke holes. Like there was moments this season where people were like, "Okay, this Kansas team isn't the real deal." Like there was moments, but then they battled back. They got that 1 seed, and they made their run. They beat everybody in front of them. They won the championship. How are you going to remember this team? I'm assuming in a great light.
I mean, yeah, in a great light. After the Kentucky loss, I was a little nervous for the rest of the season, but I think that was the biggest reason that they were as good as they were in the second half, for sure. I'm going to remember Remy for sure in his 1 season with the Jayhawks and his shot that I'll probably never forget in my entire life if I had to take a guess.
The Villanova shot?
And I'll never forget. No,
was that Villanova? That was UNC.
Back.
That was the step back UNC. You're right.
Yep.
Yeah. He made a ton of big shots.
And the big Dave hook at the very end off that offensive rebound. Shout out to David McCormick. I definitely criticized that man multiple times.
At times I feel like he took a lot of flack from Kansas fans.
Oh yeah,
rightfully so.
Like literally, probably 3 weeks ago, I retweeted a picture of it's some kid's book, but it just says "No David," and I'll be honest, I did. I was hating on him a little bit, but he's the reason we won.
I'm pretty sure
he should have been most outstanding player.
We were talking. That was weird.
Yeah.
I didn't think Agbaji should have gotten it.
I thought Agbaji was maybe like 4th in the running for that, in my opinion. I would have put Brown, Remy, and McCormick all ahead of him. Am I wrong for saying that?
And Jalen was right there too, I think.
Yes, yeah.
Like that was
one
weird
of the reasons that
nobody talked about it either. Like it was just whatever. Like Agbaji is the big name. Yeah. I think it didn't matter who played well.
I think they just wanted him to finish out his big resume senior year with most outstanding player. As weird as that is, and I do think there were more better fitting players, but I think they wanted him to
McCormick
help out the stock a little bit. Help out the stock a little bit too. Yeah.
McCormick had 15 and 10 and Agbaji had 12 and 3. Now this award goes for
it's Final Four.
It goes for the Final Four as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's look at the Villanova stats.
He went crazy in the Villanova.
He went off. Okay, but listen to this. 21 points, 2 rebounds. McCormick outscored him.
Yeah.
He had 25 and not. It makes no sense. McCormick clearly should have won the award.
Yeah, he should. I think people might have got blinded by Ochai with the 6 for 7 from 3 against Nova.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I think that kind of blinded him. But David 100% deserved it because without him getting that offensive rebound, we don't win.
They don't win the game without
matter.
the offensive rebounds. It doesn't.
It doesn't matter. So, and I think that speaks a lot to what this team is like they didn't have to rely on one guy. And for the majority of the season, they had to. Ochai, he was the leading scorer in the nation for a while, and he was, putting up 30 a game. And then you obviously in the Texas Tech game, you guys don't even come close to winning that game without him. And so I think it kind of showed the maturity that this team went through and kind of getting better and better near the end of the season. And I thought that was huge. And obviously Remy Martin, he'll be the story of the tournament. No, am I wrong? Like, is it McCormick or Martin? I believe it's Martin from just first round on. I think his emergence
that was the most unexpected. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
they don't get there without him in the first couple of games. They don't get that far without him.
Well,
Creighton game even.
Agbaji wasn't good at the beginning. He was fine against Tech. He was okay in the first round, but against Creighton, he didn't play very well. Like he barely scored 10 points.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I think it's just it was kind of crazy to see. We had talked about Kansas as kind of being flawed in a way. If McCormick, we didn't expect.
I used the word frauds, but yeah, I did.
We didn't expect McCormick to do what he did, and it seemed like from a team that had a bunch of potential weaknesses, they really didn't have any in the tournament. Like they were even DeJuan Harris was hitting threes, facilitating, getting steal. Like for a guy that is frustrating, especially for Jared who didn't like him, even he played well and was hitting big shots. It was like everything came together at the right time.
After he hit the first 3 against Nova, I was like, okay, he shot one, whatever, and then he made another, and then a little less hate for Mr. DeJuan after that. But
okay, but we do need to talk about it. Yeah, we do need to talk about it. You were getting there, but we have to get into what happened at the end of that UNC game. So first of all, it was like dominoes falling for UNC. Baycott, rolls his ankle. If you watch the replay, like the floor collapses. It was. Can we play
on basketball courts? Like, is that
right?
Like, can we not do that? Where we
probably not
on a football
because
field?
You see how many people were there in the.
I get it
in the Superdome.
Whatever.
You probably
player safety over money. I guess that's such a crazy thing to ask for, but yeah.
Well, we'll get into Mark Emmert later, but there's a reason that can't happen. So anyways,
yeah.
So Baycott, he gets hurt and dominoes start falling. McCormick obviously makes some shot. Like the game was over. UNC turns the ball over. Kansas is throwing the ball in. You're going to get fouled. Just hold the ball. Game is over. Probably would have covered as well. I'm just saying probably would have covered. And that was bad for a lot of Kansas -4 bettors. He runs out of bounds. Not like it wasn't just like, okay, he barely touched. He stepped twice out of bounds, 2 times, both feet. And so it's just so frustrating watching that kid play, especially when he's starting over a guy like Remy Martin. Obviously, Remy Martin had the disappointing season. He's starting over him. He's your lead guard, and he makes what could have been the worst turnover in college basketball history. And that is not an exaggeration. That could have been the worst turnover that's ever happened in college basketball. So what went through your mind when that
happened? I was honestly really confused why he took off on a mad dash right when he received the ball. I wasn't really understand, and especially right up the sideline.
Weird play.
I feel like the kids like coach that are like 12 years old don't even do that. like if they understand to hold the ball when there's 4 seconds on the clock and you're up 3, like you're not 4, but yeah. But I don't know. It was pretty obvious that they were going to foul, and he was
out of control. Like he was completely out of control, which is
something that really doesn't happen with him very much because he's. Yeah. I mean, he's small and I mean, his defense and how he moves.
Oh yeah.
I was pretty shocked.
He's not a good free throw shooter, is he? Like, I'm assuming he's not a great one. Like, why is the ball
honestly,
going to him?
The whole team. Yeah.
Agbaji was really bad though from the free throw line. So I get not going to him.
Oh my gosh. When it was like a 4-point game and he went like whatever it was, 1 for 5 from the line, I wanted to cry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, producer Sim, he had his player over and he was pissed every time he went to the foul line. He was pissed because if he hit maybe I think 3 of 5, I don't know what it was set at, but he would have went over. Right? Maybe even one more, he would have went over. And he was not happy with Ochai Agbaji right there. But I mean, I don't know. Obviously it doesn't matter. DeJuan Harris is stepping out of bounds, but costs a lot of people a lot of money. And he had the potential to be a lot worse. If UNC doesn't take some of the worst shots I've seen down the stretch of a game, it was bad. It was very bad. But
Caleb Love 100% shot them out of the game. So that.
Well, I mean, RJ Davis didn't play well. It was their guard shot like 10 of 40. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Well, the wild thing was he had Brady Manick. I mean, like wide open in the corner and didn't look once. Like nobody talks about that. Brady Manick was like naked in the corner. Like he had Caleb Love had 2 guys on. Brady Manick was like wide open. Obviously, maybe not going to hit it. He got, destroyed twice in the game already. He was probably seeing 3 rims. But, there was a better possibility than whatever Caleb Love put up right there. But,
I think he was kind of living in his big shot from the Duke game. I think he wanted to be the hero again. I think this comes back to emotional wall that I talked about. I think with you, Sam, before the game, how I felt.
Yeah.
And obviously the first half didn't show that, but I think the second half 100% did.
No, I think it did because, look, UNC was still riding high off of that Duke game. And I think they carried that over. And then they got cocky. Like, they did exactly what they did against Baylor, except this time they lost. They ran into a better team than Baylor. And, it killed them. Like you saw the press starting to go down a little bit early in the second half. Kansas didn't do that the whole half, but the same thing what happened with Baylor right there. Then Kansas started making layups and they closed the gap very quickly, like very, very quickly. And yeah, I'm surprised. I'm mad at Brant for not taking that live bet, Connor. Cause I mean, that seemed easy.
I thought so. And I've been like saying the whole game at the beginning, I was like, UNC, they're not going to be able to keep this close. Then they went on that run. I was like, just totally screwed Kansas. Like they're done. I just eliminated their chances of winning because I said they were going to kill them. But yeah, I thought that, after I went on a little tweeting spree after the game, kind of in your honor, Sam. I was just like throwing shade at Bill Self. I know we're probably going to get into that since we've got Jared on, but
wait, did the statute of limitations pass? Can we talk about it now? I didn't know how long.
That was about 10 minutes, I think.
That was about 10.
It had to be.
No, we could do it. We got the preamble over with, but we can kind of go into the future a little bit. And before we get into the elephant in the room, I want to talk about assume no allegations are coming. We can get to that later. But assume that's not going to happen. Your team next year is going to look very different, I'd assume. Ochai, I'd imagine, is gone. Or Ochai. I always say his name differently every time I say it. But Ochai is gone. And then you got Remy, obviously doesn't have any eligibility. McCormick, I'd assume, has nothing left to prove in college. But then you got some question marks, like Christian Brown, probably back. Jalen Wilson, probably back. DeJuan Harris, I'd assume, would be back unless Kansas fans go berserk and make him get in the transfer portal. Kind of Devin Askew-esque. And then,
please no.
And then Yeah, but then the roster's question marks. I am wondering, what is this team going to look like? Do you have the potential to repeat?
So regarding the first three, you said Dave, Ochai, and Remy definitely gone. Dave graduated in 3 years. Like you said, he has nothing left to prove. He's gone. Mitch is gone, and
oh yeah,
he was there for 6 years, and I don't know how to say it. He was helpful at times. But I'm glad he's gone. Christian Brown, I think he's gone.
Really?
He's gone. Yeah.
He's going to be a first round pick.
He's an NBA player.
He's a 100%. Fringe first rounder, from what I've seen.
I would love the Sixers to draft him.
I haven't hopped into enough mock drafts, which I should, because I should be monitoring these decisions. But I mean, Connor knows I've gone full anti-NBA. And so I haven't looked into enough mocks beside, that top 10 to see where Shaden's falling. But, I digress. So you think Christian's gone?
Yeah, I think he dropped a little bit on boards like halfway through the season, and he fell in the second round. I thought he might come back depending on what happened, but he showed a lot in the tournament, and I think his stock is probably as good as it's going to get. He's a great player, and I think he has a lot of room to improve. I mean, if he can get really confident with his three, because when he does shoot it, he shoots it well. I think he's a first-round pick. Jalen Wilson, I think he declares and tests the waters and comes back. He could be a big-time player next year, a very big-time player.
I think that kid. It's all about his consistency. Like when he plays well, the way he moves, like you can kind of tell just when you watch college guys, like the way they move and the way they handle themselves. He's an NBA type player. Like the way he can, like, I don't know the exact word for it. Connor, basketball terms way better than I do, but he just looks like an NBA player out there. And so I wouldn't be surprised, testing the waters. If he can improve on his consistency and kind of bring it every night, he will be in the NBA.
He just needs to hit some layups.
If he can make some layups. Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's incredibly fair. Yes. Incredibly fair. Yeah.
I think Bill has positioned himself. He's ready for this mass exodus, though. I mean,
yeah.
You look at the recruiting class they have coming in. I mean, they've got 4 top 40 guys. Like this is one of the classes he's really loaded up on as far as freshmen. So plus, he's going to go into the portal and get somebody. Like he got Remy.
Yes, somebody.
So if you're bringing in 5 potentially high contributing people, I think he's probably had this plan ready for those people to leave.
Definitely. I think there's a lot of playmakers still on the roster that might not have gotten as much time as they should have, considering they had a first-team All-American as the backup point guard. With 2 of those guys that I think are playmakers.
Is he Sifu every year?
Because of Remy. Yes.
He has an extra year?
I think. I'm pretty positive he does.
I mean, everybody does, I think, at this, except like Brad Davison and like Lightfoot. Like, as long as you're not 6th or 7th year in college, I'm pretty sure you have an extra year if you want it.
Oh, yeah.
So, literally. And I would love for him to come back. Love it. I would love it.
He could be the Remy.
Surprised. Yeah.
He's the Remy Martin role. Like this.
Literally.
It's like, hey, you see what he just did for us? You do that this year.
A far more athletic Remy Martin.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was talking to somebody, I can't remember. And I was like, Kansas, they're going to be like super young, I'm guessing. I was like, I don't know who they're going to have. And I looked at their recruiting class and I was like, oh God, they are going to be young, but they have a lot of good players coming in.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bill Self doesn't usually do that, right?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Bill, I don't know if he's comfortable in that role because
he's top 4 recruiting class. I feel like they're usually not there.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, if you look at the rankings of the players, I mean, that just won the national championship. I mean, it's crazy that, if you look at the composite, the only people who are under 60 were McCormick and Jalen Wilson. Yeah. Everyone else was above 80.
Oh, Agbaji was 330 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Brown was right now, he's 130 in the composite. Yeah. Harris
I
was
saw a
ranked over both
report.
of them,
I saw a report
by the
about
way. And
I saw a
Lightfoot.
report about Christian Brown. It was like some scout. Somebody asked the scout why Kansas recruited Christian Brown, and the scout goes, "I don't know. He sucks. He will never play there." And
He
so
won.
now he's doing this.
Didn't he win Mr. Kansas back? I mean,
Yes,
he won
did.
2 state championships. He's from he's an hour down the road. I'm guessing that's why they.
Well, yeah.
him.
Well, I'm just saying, that's something I did see on Twitter.
Yeah,
I found it funny, revisionist history, obviously. But I mean, back to Christian Brown just for a second. I think the shot is there. If we're going at full scouting, when you watch him shoot, it's very fluid. Obviously, his percentage isn't great, but he's very fluid. It looks like there's nothing too off about it, and I think it can develop. So I think that's what NBA teams will end up.
He plays up too. He plays.
Yes, he does.
He's 6'6", I think is what he's listed at. But I mean, he's how many games he had with double-digit rebounds? The dude's an athlete.
He can fly.
I mean, he was leading the Big 12 in multiple stats that were not points at one time during the regular season. I mean, he was getting block shots, rebounds. He was just filling it up across the whole board. I think last year he had a very more sensitive trigger on his three ball. I don't really know why that would have changed. I don't know if last year's season would make him do that, even though, I mean, last year's season was horrible. But I think if he had the confidence and would just shoot, it would work out well for him.
That's why I think a contender is going to take him in the late first. He's just a guy you plug in. I don't know how high his ceiling is, but clearly you could just plug him in and he'll be fine. He's not going to give you 25, 30, but he could hit a couple threes and play good. He just is a good role player that's why I think he'll slide into the first. But yeah, it's going to be interesting, the overhaul, which I don't, doubt that Bill Self can handle it as long as he's, on
Brown,
the bench.
Brown, we say that Brown gives me serious Pat Connaughton or Dante DiVincenzo vibes.
Yeah, 100%.
Plug and play, ready to go. So that could happen. So, but yeah, moving on into this recruiting class, into the actual players in it. Maybe the most hateable person on most hateable person on planet Earth is joining the Kansas Jayhawks next year. His name is Grady Dick. He sounds like, he grew up, lived at an expensive country club. He's got the red hair, golf lessons every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. He's just that kind of guy. And so you gotta tell me, what is this kid like? I don't know his game too well. What about his game is going to make me hate him even more?
Well, to start, he is super tall and plays like a guard. I mean, this guy can move. He can handle it. He has I don't even know what his vertical jump is, but I've seen him throw down some absolutely monster dunks. He has a clip from three. He will talk crap to you. I mean, he is I've never been more excited for a recruit in Kansas in my life. Even if they were higher ranked, he did win Gatorade National Player of the Year. So it's kind of hard to get higher ranked. I know he's not number one in the class, but I am very excited for Mr. Grady.
You did have Wiggins less than 10 years ago, and you're saying this is the most exciting you've ever been for a recruit. Okay.
I'm not saying he's going to be the best player that I am excited. I just think he's going to be fun. Okay. I want to see him do what Christian Brown did to Isaiah Jackson. Call him names after he dunks on him.
We still talk about that. Yes, we do still talk about that.
I mean, Christian Brown's the king of trash talk. Everybody knows that. He's gonna hang well in the NBA. He is.
Yeah. This sucks. If Christian Brown, for some reason, let's just say, I know he's gone, but if he decides to return and he plays with Grady Dick,
be so happy.
They're going to be the most hateable. And I mean, Duke exists, but Duke doesn't have Coach K anymore. So like Kansas will slide right into that spot pretty easily. But Connor,
You don't
do
have to.
you know
You don't
anything
have to
about
play
Grady
him. I mean, it's absolute bullshit. Sorry,
We do have to play him.
that. Yeah, I mean,
Big 12 SEC.
are you going to get matched up with him though?
We usually do. It was like a 2-year thing, or whenever we don't play him in the Champions Classic, we'll match up with somebody else.
I mean, think about this. Indiana this year has to play Kansas, and their ACC Big Ten could be North Carolina. So they're going to have to play both teams from the national championship, which is ridiculous. But yeah, I don't know much about these. I mean, MJ Rice is another one. Like, I don't know these guys very well, but just looking at the ratings, I am not looking forward to that game, especially on the road.
MJ I mean, Rice is a big time scorer. I mean, that's just what he does. It's scoring.
I will say they're high ranked recruits, but like where they're kind of ranked, they just kind of remind me of Kansas players. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yes.
Like they're not like top 15, like they're not like top 10, top 5, but they are Kansas players. And I think that's
Kentucky players that flame out in the tournament.
I was going to agree with you until you said that. and so I'm not doing that. But yes, they are Kansas players, and it will be interesting to see them play. Especially whoever, I got a name, Nigel Pack. Kansas probably knows him more than any other team in the nation who played at Kansas State. Like, is Kansas now that their season
is they reaching out to him?
The recruiting trail. That's probably why they haven't yet, because they've just got done with the national championship.
Okay, so I can't remember where it was. I've seen minor interest, but I think that picks up afterwards, like after everything gets done, after the celebration this week. I mean, I've seen the videos on TikTok of the players partying. I mean, our walk-on was in a club in New Orleans, absolutely getting after it. Anyways,
I saw that.
I would put Kansas in the dark horse tier to get Nigel Pack.
I mean, he's arguably the best transfer in the portal. Like, yeah,
he's
I mean,
the most coveted.
Definitely most coveted. You got Terrence Shannon in there. He's up there. Brandon Murray, and then probably Nigel Pack. Would you say that's like maybe the top? I think
Pack is probably the number one when you look at the teams that are like getting him or going.
Yeah, I mean,
Kansas, if they get involved, Purdue, Gonzaga, Tennessee, Duke. I mean, literally everybody. Jared, not to burst your bubble with Nigel Pack, I would not be surprised if he goes there at all. We did see something on Twitter from an IU guy, like he lives a little bit up north from Bloomington. Had heard that, he might go to Purdue. Purdue's been in on him since they've been out of the tournament, which has obviously been for about a week now. Hashtag go St. Peter's. But I mean, they are my favorite team. Beating Purdue and
okay.
But anyway, I saw that they were going to go after him because everybody was like, Indiana should go get him. I was like, why not? Indiana should go get him. He's from Lawrence Central, like an hour from here. But apparently Purdue is. But again, like that was before Kansas is going to get involved.
I mean, that was the day he entered. So the big guns,
the big guns are getting involved now, and I don't think Purdue's going to be able to keep up with that. Just say, hey, you're going to be closer to home. You should come play for us.
I agree 100%. I think there's going to, if he has a choice between some of the biggest names in college basketball to play for or Purdue.
No offense to Purdue. It's just like
no offense to Purdue.
No. We have quickly became Matt Painter's villains. This podcast, when we did that segment,
I'm a Matt Painter villain. Oh my
god. We did a segment in the last episode. I believe that was the last episode, or maybe the one before, where we just absolutely destroy him. Like we just said, if he was Kentucky's coach, he would never last. So maybe not Purdue per se.
The one The one thing that I think is going to be interesting with Kansas in the portal, at least, and honestly for the recruiting class we just talked about, and I know we've been cracking jokes, but these allegations are serious. And I are you worried at all that's going to affect their current recruiting class if there's like tournament bans? Like, I don't know. Nobody knows for sure what this is or like what's going to happen. Because at one point, I think it was Mike Vernon tweeted about a 2-year postseason ban. And then now I think we were talking about it this past weekend that it's just going to be Bill Self can't coach a tournament game. Like, I don't know if anybody really knows. But
I've seen, will it affect it? I think with the players that are committed now, no.
Really?
The only one that I would see would be MJ Rice leaving and just going to whatever it's called, G League. Yeah. That's
okay, so if there's
one.
a tournament ban, the whole team's ineligible for the tournament, do you think they'll all stay still?
That I don't know about. From what I've heard with the allegations, it's looking like it's a good chance that it'll be a Bill Self and Curtis Townsend postseason ban, not the team. I've seen it multiple places. I mean, and would if I was a recruit, I probably wouldn't be okay with that, not having my head coach.
That's
be able to coach me in the tournament, but I don't know.
I feel like that is a very vanilla punishment, and I get it. Like, can't coach in the postseason, but like, dumb. Oklahoma State just got they couldn't compete in the postseason this year,
and I wish they could have.
Yeah, they would have been good. I mean, obviously, like their record wasn't great at the end of the year, but I mean, it's because they weren't really playing for anything, But they did beat some.
I mean, you want to talk about we've got, check out the YouTube, guys, go listen to it. We've got this scene behind me along with, 3 level 1 violations. I'm trying to think of who else has had level 1 violations.
I think LSU has like 7.
Auburn did. Arizona,
they got the postseason ban.
Everybody's gotten the postseason ban. Did NC State, I think, or no, they're not on here. South Carolina, I don't know if they did. They don't make the postseason very often anyway. So USC, I can't remember if they did before Andy Enfield got hired or if it was like at the beginning of his tenure.
Oh, gosh, that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
But again, like, I don't expect Kansas to get punished too much just because they're a blue. You don't touch the blue bloods like this. Of course, Indiana, they got freaking destroyed by texting allegations way back when. So again, I guess they're not considered a blue blood to the NCAA, but Kansas's violations are far worse than what Kelvin Sampson did when he was texting players. So I'm not going to be okay with, just the slap on the wrist. No,
did this start with Billy Preston? Like, was that
yes.
the first domino? Yes. Because
Billy Preston and Silvio
De Sousa. So, which, by the way, I know Silvio, he was a big part of your team, I believe in 2020. But yeah, when he got the chair and started swinging, yeah. And so, I think it all started. It all started when when Billy Preston got in the wreck, and he was driving a very nice car, and it was right before the Kentucky game. It was right before he even played a game. He never played a game for Kansas. He never suited up, did he? Never did.
I thought he did.
I think he did.
I'm pretty sure he played a couple games.
That escaped my mind. I just assumed that wreck happened, and then I believe investigations ensued, and then the FBI thing was after, I think, and Kansas's name was brought up. I mean, there's a lot of talk and a lot of smoke, and obviously, I don't know the ins and outs of it, I should, but investigation happened. They got hit with the level whatever violations. And it's incredibly interesting. Like, are you, as a Kansas fan, you know how the NCAA works. You know Mark Emmert works. Don't touch the Blue Bloods. Coach K seriously bought Zion Williamson a house, and nothing happened. So, not Zion, his whole family a house. Sorry. And so, as a Kansas fan, do you really care? Because you're not going to be touched at all. And plus now with NIL, paying players is completely fine. Are you worried whatsoever?
No.
Yes, you should. As I believe you should.
Who Literally the hell care? Who cares anymore? It's stupid. It's not. People are gonna make out Bill Self to be this villain, but who cares? Everybody has been doing this, and they get caught. Whatever. It doesn't matter. It's dumb. They won't get punished. I mean, I'm reading the article right now. They're talking about this dude from Adidas, Gasnola, quote unquote, their bag man. I think Antigua probably learned some tricks from him at some point.
It's just a joke. It never holds water, but he brings it up a lot.
He's Nike's version of.
Gotcha. Oh, okay. No, just please, yes, go along with the story. Let's go.
But it's just dumb. I'm reading too. They were going all out to try to get Zion to Kansas, doing whatever they can to get him. There's a wiretap, but nothing is going to happen. Nobody cares about Arizona doing it. Sean Miller gets fired, and everybody honestly at this point, it's he shouldn't have gotten fired. And I think people are
already honestly has a job.
People are defending him and saying that in the end he probably shouldn't have. So nothing is going to happen. I wish it would. I hope Kansas gets the max penalty and they suck for the next 2 years, and Indiana can beat them.
No, I think how Bill Self handled this, he handled it about as well as you can. He didn't let it get to him at all. Never addressed it ever. He just kind of he was just whatever, man.
Did you guys watch?
Care. I'm going to win a championship, and then I do want to get to Mark Emmert in a second. What were you saying?
Did you guys watch the Bob Huggins, Dave Portnoy, Bill Self sit down, and Bob he literally called him out for cheating, to his face, and Bill Self just shrugged it off, yeah, whatever.
He just laughed.
He didn't even deny it. He didn't even say, "Oh, I didn't do that." He was just yeah,
because it's literally just so it just doesn't matter anymore.
Bill literally could have said, "Bob, you've been doing the same thing. Come on, I just got caught, and you haven't been good enough to get caught yet."
The funniest thing about it, this is so funny how college basketball works now. So you go back to 2010, right? When Cal, and not to bring this back to Kentucky, but it's just a funny story. So you go back to 2010. Cal gets hired at Kentucky. Everybody throws a fit because, this is one and done guy. He's got 2 programs on probation, and he gets to Kentucky and everybody's going okay, he's going to cheat again. To this day,
is going to or has
no, he's going to cheat again in 2010. That's what they said.
Oh yeah, no, he did. I'm assuming.
To this day, he is maybe the only one without real evidence to say he was cheating. Bill Self, Rick Pitino, Coach K, all of these guys have obviously the LSU stuff, all these guys have serious.
Well, here's the problem with that. The team that probably he did cheat for somehow, some way, with John Wall and Boogie and Bledsoe, they lost. They lost early
because he's a recruiter, not a coach. It just comes back.
He went to the Elite Eight.
Did they not lose to they lost to West Virginia? Did they not?
Yeah, they did.
I mean, West Virginia was not that. I mean, they had Deshaun Butler, and that was about it. And
it was a bad loss. It was a terrible loss. Yeah.
At that point, it was just by the way, Deshaun Butler, name drop right there. I mean, what a player he was. I mean, not gonna lie, got drafted by the Heat. Super.
I know. I realized that. Like I knew. You didn't even have to.
You knew that was gone.
Like I get it. Yes. Yeah.
But
yes.
anyway, that was a great moment. They lost, and it was like, well, we don't need to punish them. They didn't win. That's how it works back then. Like they didn't. There's nothing. What are you going to punish them for? The only team Louisville gets punished. Why? Because they won. I think if they lose early, nothing happens. Pitino might get fired, and there might be rumors, but nothing is going to come out like it did.
I think it did not matter. I think Louisville was going to get hammered, no matter what.
To a certain degree, maybe, but I don't think they're getting they got.
But they're not getting the title vacated. The what they don't have.
Nothing. They don't lose any of their postseason wins probably at that point. They don't vacate postseason. They wouldn't have vacated those.
Yeah.
And now with NIL, Kansas isn't going to get. How could you justify taking away the national championship for paying people when it's literally allowed? Like you can literally pay people now, so it would make no sense.
It should have been 3 years ago if they were going to come down hard.
Don't come down hard when you've already changed the.
No,
they waited too long. They've had the evidence if they wanted to on a lot of these teams, and LSU, for instance, I can't believe that. Will Wade, whatever he did was really wrong. I get that. They waited until now to do this. There's been allegations since he got hired.
I don't think it was wrong. I just think I don't think what he did was like super egregious. No. I don't think what he did was like super whatever, but he kept doing it and he kept doing it publicly. And he
Hold on a minute.
After
did
he
you
got
say
in
not
trouble,
super egregious?
No, I mean after he got in trouble. I'm saying like before that he got on the wiretap strong ass offer, but that was like private. But then ever since he got caught, he was public as hell about the cheating with the Efton Reed thing. When he committed to Pitt,
not even that,
and then deleted it 5 minutes later, and then went to LSU.
He was paying off ex-girlfriends to keep their mouths shut about players that he was paying. You didn't know that? I didn't know that's bad. I can't believe he did that. But again, like that's why he should have got. But like all this other stuff, it's like what? Why? It's illegal now. Like what are we doing here?
I just think LSU.
You think your background was a slap in the face? Oh, sorry.
Mm-hmm. What'd you say?
Do you think your background, Connor, was a slap in the face to the NCAA?
Oh, I mean, you've got strippers and Snoop Dogg, smoking a blunt. I mean,
I think that's exactly what it was.
He's throwing money into the crowd, I know it was fake money, but there was like 5-star recruits in the front row. Like,
imagine being a 5-star recruit looking at Snoop Dogg throwing you money and looking at strippers.
Like it was one of, and literally the NCAA couldn't do a thing about it. They were just like,
no, they couldn't.
That was right after the drop too.
He's just sitting at his desk probably and just arms crossed, just angry.
Oh, just pissed.
Furious.
Oh,
okay, Bill Self's having the time of his life.
Okay, so let's talk about the Mark Emmer interaction, right? Let's talk about the Mark interaction post game. So obviously he has the trophy. He's presenting it to Bill Self. First mistake. Calls them the Kansas City Jayhawks, which is maybe the worst thing that you could possibly say about the University of Kansas. He also called them the University of Kansas. It's the worst thing that you could possibly say about Kansas University. Yep. And that was just a hilarious interaction. The guy who just won your league, he just won it, has been cheating. You haven't given him punishment yet. You allowed him to win while on this pseudo probation, whatever. It's the craziest thing I've seen.
Is the NCAA not like? I get it, Sam. You're a college basketball fan. It's number terrible. One, nothing. It's the most corrupt thing ever.
Oh,
yeah, and it's even with NIL, it still is. Like, there's still shady deals going. Like, it's crazy how corrupt that it's gotten.
Well, Penny Hardaway, with the FedEx thing.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I mean, yeah, it's. I mean, I get it. Porsche. What about the Porsche deal in Kentucky? Like, come on.
What? No, that's a private Porsche dealership that is signing these kids.
Sure.
they didn't team up with the university to just give them $1 million, get them to campus with this $1 million FedEx deal, which was publicly reported on.
So you don't think that these deals are lined up ahead of, I mean,
Definitely.
come on, what do we,
Actually, definitely. But it wasn't public. That's my whole thing. Jared, what were you about to say?
Kentucky's better at covering it up. I'll give you that.
Oh, they're amazing at it. Yeah.
I can't remember what player on this year's team it was. One of them is sponsored by like a Toyota in Lawrence. I just think that's funny because Porsche, Kentucky, and one of them's a Toyota, probably driving around like a Camry with red leather, just thinking they're the absolute stuff. And some guy in Kentucky's driving a Porsche.
Dude, imagine if, like, why didn't they get the Billy Preston treatment? What's going on with that?
I don't know why.
Lambo.
I don't know why Indiana doesn't. Sam, you're here. You see a lot of what NIL deals is Trace getting? How does Will Levis at Kentucky? I'm pretty sure he got something with it was Marathon or something, and but it wasn't a lot of money. It wasn't like 6-figure. Like Kentucky, their quarterback, Shaden Sharp literally didn't play and got Indiana has this huge alumni. How do they not? They're not even close to being on the level of these other schools as far as these reported gigantic NIL deals. And it's crazy to me.
Well, I keep getting on YouTube and I'm getting this long ass ad that I can't skip. And it's Rob Finney and Race Thompson doing something, and it's the worst. I hate it. I can't stand it. But they have
all these small endorsement deal. I don't think they're anything close to what these other ones are.
I think Xavier has a deal with Pizza X.
Yeah, I mean, they're doing local businesses, which is how it should be done to a certain degree. Selling your own merchandise, and then you've got Kentucky and Memphis offering 6-figure deal. It's ridiculous.
Well, Ty had the Fazoli's, he had his own Fazoli's meal, and Severe Wheeler had his own steak and shake meal.
That's cool. That. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
But I'm curious.
Funny.
You guys, your two schools are, I would say, benefiting from NIL probably more than most. Kentucky specifically, I don't know about Kansas's involvement in the NIL. Do you guys think it should be capped? I know that's kind of a
no.
So you think they should be able to make
it's a free market? Obviously there should be rules on who can give them the deal. I think they should definitely hammer down on regulations. So if the team, I don't think the team should really be involved. Obviously there's workarounds, but
do you think Porsche should be able to just give out the money? Okay.
It's a private company. They can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
Funny thing, from what I said earlier, it's Remy who's sponsored by Toyota, and he does in fact drive a white Camry.
That's funny. The most coveted transfer in the portal last offseason, and he's driving a Toyota Camry. That
doesn't look like any red leather, but it is in fact a Camry.
But no, I mean, it is crazy. NIL, I mean, it's insane. You get obviously you got that summer where I'm assuming a lot of deals were just kind of effed, because it was new. A lot of companies just gave out deals to random athletes. They probably didn't follow through. It was kind of just feeling that out. So I think it will calm down either way. But I mean, dude, there should not be a cap on it if you're regulating who gives them the money. And I think the NCAA should be serious about that now that these players are allowed to get paid. And it's not such a big, oh my gosh, I can't believe you're profiting off these players who are not making money. I think now that they're getting as much money as they're earning, you should definitely put some hard regulations on what the teams can do.
Yeah, I think, because I've talked to people and they're so against it. And I'm well, first off, what would you rather have? The under the table illegal transactions, or would you rather have it at least regulated and, open to the public Like, at least that's a little bit more ethical. But at the same time, I personally would be interested in, like leveling the playing field to a certain degree.
What do you
Like,
mean by that?
I like Kentucky has access to higher NIL deals than like a Purdue or somebody else. And I think it would be interesting if, there was, I don't want to like cap it too low, but I would be interested to see what a cap of like, fill in the blank on a number. I don't know what the number would be, just to kind of even like, because Kentucky now, I do worry that, it's already as unbalanced as it gets, and people are like, well, NIL could actually even it out, and schools can have their own. Because we talked about it at one point, like, what
That's
would you rather
incredibly
do?
false, by the way. Like, I
What's
thought
that?
it would. I thought it would even it out.
That's what we were talking about.
Yeah.
It's not. It won't even it out. We talked about going to like smaller school and being the guy, and you'll get your jersey set. That's it. It's not going to work.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of these schools, Indiana included, is set up where, it's so hard to buy merchandise from the team. You can't do it. So there's not a lot of that going on. Names aren't on the back of jerseys. So that does no relevance to a lot of these programs. And I worry that in the future, things are just going to get even more unbalanced as far as where these top recruits go. Like, I get we're keeping them in college, which is great.
Yeah.
Instead of going to the G League, going overseas, and playing professionally. But I think it could turn into college football. And I know the tournament's going to make sure that doesn't happen to a certain degree, because, it's 4 versus 68. But the way college football is set up, it's the same 4 or 5 teams every single year.
You got to think about it like this, though. So, I mean, you look at college football compared to college basketball. College football, the best players playing in the sport are usually the best pro prospects as well.
Yeah.
And those pro prospects, they're high recruits. The best players in college basketball, they're not always that. They're sometimes they're in the 175s, like, and Kentucky's not even looking at them, and they'll go to Villanova, with Colin Gillespie, guys like that. They're never going to play a day in the NBA, And so I think that will kind of even it out a little bit in the playing field. But then the portal here you're going to, is that what your argument was going to be? Like, they can transfer in and out, but
they can transfer, but
yes. What I was
Kentucky's also had teams that have platooned. Like, literally they've had, and with NBA guys, I'm just saying it's happened. And other teams, have had NBA guys come off the bench. It's the same thing that happens. Alabama has third stringers that would be starters everywhere else, and they know they're going to get drafted. They literally sit for 2 years without playing on the field, play 1 year and get drafted. If Kentucky or Kansas or whoever can start throwing out these NIL deals and basically say, Cal will get you drafted, whether you play or not, play that much or not. Like, if you come off the bench and play, a seventh man role, you could easily still get drafted if you go to Kentucky. And I just worry that could happen at some point.
That's true, but I think the portal will kind of even that out, because look, at heart, I know that we're looking at the worst case scenario in which these guys are only in it for the money. If you're playing college basketball, you're wanting to still play college basketball. Like, because I believe.
Are you though anymore? Like, really?
I still think that.
I wouldn't be.
Jared, you wouldn't.
I don't think that's the case anymore.
No.
So am I an optimist about college basketball? Am I just somebody who?
Yes.
100%.
Yeah.
An optimist about college basketball.
If this didn't exist, if NIL didn't exist, and the only options to get paid were the G League, overtime, or overseas, a lot of these guys wouldn't be here.
You think so?
Shaden Sharp never would have went to Kentucky. Emoni Bates never would have went.
I don't think Emoni Bates would have. I definitely don't think so.
Wouldn't have gone. Yeah. There's no way. Paulo, I don't even know if he would have went to Duke.
But hey, look, I'm going to make myself sound like a hypocrite. But I mean, even NIL, like we just made fun of Memphis, but they got two guys, and Memphis isn't exactly a powerhouse program. Like they've had a few good years in their past, but like they got two of the top guys in the nation to come there. Obviously, it didn't work out, but
why though? Because they can offer the big deals.
Yeah.
Again, that's what I'm saying. So Memphis in the future is going to be in the same boat as Kentucky, whether not that they're a blue blood or anything like that, but they can offer those deals, and they're going to get players to come to their school just because of that, just because of the money.
I mean, there's never going to be 100% parity. Like it just won't ever happen. And the top programs will get the top guys.
What if you capped it? At least it would balance it out to a certain degree, right? I'm just saying, if you capped it out, it would at least, like, what if Memphis could only offer one of those? Do you think Emoni Bates still goes there if he doesn't get his deal?
Hell no. I think no. Hell no.
I think Shaedon Sharpe goes to Kentucky without his Porsche deal.
He got his Porsche deal after, like months after he signed it.
Sure. Okay.
What is this? This
hold
is
on,
100% speculation.
Think about this for a second. He was going to Kentucky.
I think he
reclassified.
He came to Kentucky early for the money. Definitely. Early.
Yes.
But
100%.
I'm saying he was planning on coming either way, right?
But that deal was already set. That's the point. The deal showed up late after he signed early because it was supposed to be for next year. And then he said, wait a minute, I want my money now. And then I'm going to leave so I can win at both. I think that a lot of these players, and Jared, I know you can hop in whatever. We're not trying to wet our guests on the no. I think a lot of players, no matter where they go, are going to make a market for themselves. Like, I think we're not looking at this. I think you look at guys like, I don't know if you know this, but like Jared McCain on TikTok, right? I know he's going to Duke, but he could have went anywhere and been a millionaire. He has that many followers on TikTok. Like they can make a name for themselves. You looked at it. I saw this, and I know you did too. His NIL value skyrocketed because he went to Duke.
But what I'm saying, he will be a millionaire. He would have been a millionaire no matter what. He was that
okay,
popular.
but that doesn't matter though, because have $1 million or have 10. Like obviously he's going to go to the school that could get him 10. Like,
yeah,
if it can increase, there's still levels to it, and the core group, the Kentuckys, the Dukes, the Kansases, they are still way ahead of everybody else, and I think that's bad. They already have the recruiting advantage for a number of reasons: history, championships, better coaches. Like now we're just adding NIL to it as well. And I think it could get dangerous.
I don't think capping it is going to change anything though.
You don't think so?
I mean, I think no, I don't. I'm just going to leave it at that.
My theory on that is just that
what's the number gonna be? Like
it's the same for important. Okay, it's the same for everybody.
Yeah, I realize that.
It's as the way I think of it is like a salary cap, basically, which is, again, we're basically just talking about free agency, which is what it is at this point. It's free agency. Who can offer the biggest deal? You're going to get the player. If there's a cap on it, I would think that a player, if he has two options, option A, go to Kentucky, but have to take less money, or option B, go to somewhere else that can offer him more because he's the only big NIL deal that they're offering, he'll go to option B because it's only going to be a 1 year or 2 year thing. And then he's going to go to the NBA. I would think he would take the money because, like we said, Jared said, it's not about basketball anymore. If you're playing in college, it's about getting your money before you go to the NBA.
Okay. I thought you were saying, okay, I didn't know you meant a flat rate per team. I thought you meant a flat rate per player.
Oh,
that
no.
a player can make.
So did I, actually.
No.
Yeah.
I meant for the team in general.
That would never work because NIL is 100% like it's supposed to be like player to player, not really like for the team. Like that's not how they're patrolling it. Like it's
I know,
more,
and
like I think they'd have if they were to introduce a cap, it would be player to player.
Yes. And then it wouldn't change that. You're right. That would do nothing.
Yeah.
That would, because then everybody's still even playing. It's basically back to no NIL type of deal where it's just fair game, and then the advantages are still Kentucky, they're still Kansas.
If you set a cap in NIL, it's just going to be like what the problem was before. Well, now there's cheating. You know, like that's what it's going to be. Okay, now, well, they're going to get their money, but you're just not going to know about it. Like,
I know there's no easy way to fix it, which is, again, leading back to my point. It's just dangerous, and
it's a slippery slope.
We'll see where it goes. Like I think it's fine. I do agree that they should get paid and everything, but the way that it's going, even the coaches are saying this.
I think it should be as separated from the college as humanly possible. Like they're not allowed to wear their jersey in the ad or something like stuff like that. Like just selling themselves. I think that's what it should be and what it was meant to be. I think it should just be, okay, say I'm Sam Wrench, 5-star quarterback for the University of Kentucky. Because that's exactly what I
Your biggest dream, Sam. Your biggest
dream, 5-star quarterback for the University of Kentucky. So I think if I were to go into commercials, I should not be able to sell myself as quarterback of the University of Kentucky. I should be able to sell myself as quarterback for this business in Lexington, or quarterback for Nike. I don't think it should have anything to do with the school, because then it gets into the slippery slope. Like, okay, well, if you're advertising the school, like, shouldn't the school be paying you? Like, I don't like that.
Did you guys, or is this just me? And this could have been just me. When NIL first was talked about, I thought it was just going to be like money from merchandise that was sold by the school. Like, that's all I thought it was.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be like jersey sales, posters, shirts, stuff. I literally thought that's all it was going to be. I did not think it was going to be Porsche deals and stuff like that. Like I just didn't think that.
They got creative.
Nobody would have had a problem with like just the basic jersey sales and all that. Like nobody.
I don't think anybody has a problem with it. Like now, to be honest, like I think that you're in the minority. Like I'm
not, and I don't have a problem with it. I think it could be fixed. I don't think it's like the best form, but like,
well, no,
there are a lot of people.
This is Wild West right now. Like
there are a lot of people that don't like where it could lead to. I guess,
yeah,
is where they're at. Not that they don't like it.
Yeah, I have a question about best form. Not so much with the NIL deals. What about the portal? Do you think the portal is the best it can be right now?
No.
No.
I think it is absolutely horrible.
It's so bad. Like there should be.
It is the worst thing possible.
There should be incentives for staying at your college. Like I get,
there's no rules.
Not sitting
there
out,
is no rules for anything anymore.
It was one time, but now people are just entering.
Exactly.
Like people are just going, and
it's literally free agency for college.
I think it should be a one-time. I think it's something that would be an easy fix. Is you can only do it once.
Yeah.
Like you can't just transfer from school to school over and over again. Like if you're going to transfer once, fine. You get your one opportunity to leave wherever you went, and then that's it. Like I don't care what the situation.
You can't be in shambles.
Like you can't just go from school to school and say I'm just going to pick the best school possible for the next 4 years. Like that's ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying is like, I think it could be changed in this way. Like before the one and done, you had to stay at your school for how many years? Like, I don't know, like 2 or 3. Was it 3? I don't remember what the count was.
Football does 3.
Yeah, football does 3. Okay. So you give, let's say 2 years at least at minimum to the program that you are recruited to. If not, you have to sit out when you transfer. And then you get to, if you want to transfer, then you can transfer one time for the rest of your career. And obviously grad transfers, it gets weird there because there's some schools that don't have grad programs. And that's obviously don't touch that. Like that's fine.
The grad transfer, like the other thing too is it gets people freak out about the transfers. Like, well, what if a coach gets fired? Well, that's fine. Like certain situations like that, like if your coach gets fired, then whatever, that is a special
scenario. Never make a rule off of the minority ever. Like the scenario that happens less, you never make a rule off of that. Like you can add in exceptions as you go, but you never really make a rule over that.
I don't know. Like,
yeah, I think it's crazy that it's allowed. I don't, like you said, one time, like, fine. But when you move schools 4 or 5 times in your whole college career, that's dumb. Like, it's
what are you doing?
Like Charlie Moore, he was hopping every year he went to a new school. And then I love that we put him out. Oh my gosh. Oh wow.
I didn't realize there was this hatred.
Yeah, he's a former Jayhawk.
I just think the portal's stupid, and he overused it, and it did nothing for him. I think it was stupid.
The funny thing is, coming from you guys, like your 2 schools like benefit the most. Not the most, but I mean, you got Remy Martin, and Kentucky gets Kellen Grady, and Oscar. Like they got the National Player of the Year out of the portal.
I mean, that was before he wasn't in the portal per se, because he left before. But not that matters whatsoever. But I'm just
like
saying,
the principle of they're going to get the best players. Like,
I mean,
your schools benefit the most.
Sure,
like
definitely, yeah.
But I'm a college basketball purist.
Well, there is nothing pure about the game anymore. Maybe the game itself, but everything around it is anything but.
Well, because Mark Emmert is an idiot.
It's the worst institution like I think I've ever seen.
There's a reason every college athlete after they leave is like
hates it.
The NCAA sucks. Like as an organization, like college basketball is awesome, but the NCAA as an organization is like incredibly bad. Like they're unironically what I don't know, this wrestling reference. They're unironically what Vince McMahon is to the WWE. Like he's the heel. And everybody's supposed to hate him, all the fans, but that's what he is unironically. So
yes,
but okay, we went long. This is an awesome episode. I like these. Just kind of sit down, talk. We need to do these more often, I think. But Jared, no structure, whatever. Jared, thank you for coming on. Congratulations to the Kansas Jayhawks. That's 4 now. That's awesome.
Congratulations, one closer to the Hoosiers. Sorry, I just had to say that.
Correct.
He
had to say it.
He got his
had to say it.
He did.
I know.
Thank you for joining me, Jared. Obviously, thank you for joining me, Connor. There's some good conversations. It kind of went in a ton of different directions, but this is big for Kansas fans. I hope we get some Kansas fans to listen, because this is maybe the first time ever I've said good things about Kansas. So seriously, thank you guys for listening. Like and subscribe, 5 stars, whatever you need to do to show us some love, and love you guys.